Morning, it's 9:18, BBC Radio Oxford. What were you doing when you were 8 years old? Can you remember? I think I was sitting in my room playing at radio stations as a child. Yeah, I was that precocious youngster. But listen to this next story. Do you remember when you first felt motivated by something in the news, whether it was something political, maybe it was, goodness, going back when I was young, CND were busy everywhere. They were the big protest group when I was growing up. Today, it's all about the environment, isn't it? It's greenwashing and microplastics and global emissions and net zero and so on that dominates young kids' agendas today. And it's something they want to make a difference with, things that they want to work on. And I've found a Whitney boy here who's doing just that. He isn't waiting until he leaves school. It's not enough just doing some recycling at home. He's gone one step further and created a YouTube channel to educate the rest of us about what's going on in the world. And he's not even double figures yet. Joe is just eight years old. And here he is in action.
The sea level rise has sunk the island. And if you go there, you can only see one branch of the last tree standing. Scary, isn't it?
And Joe is sitting in front of me now. Good morning, young man. How are you?
Good morning, David.
It's nice to meet you. You're the politest 8-year-old I've ever met. Thank you for coming in. Are you on half term this week?
Yes, I'm on half term this week.
Lovely. It's nice to meet you. And do you want to introduce me to your family? Who's here with you? Who have you got sitting?
My dad and my sister Joanna.
Lovely. Nice to meet you all. Thank you for coming in. So why did you decide to start this YouTube channel?
So the problem was, when I started it in 2020, and we all know that 2020 was very boring because of lockdown. So I got very bored, and I usually communicate with my facts to different children in my school. I couldn't do that because I was staying at home. So I started my YouTube channel to spread the message, which is, it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, you can still make a change, and it's for our planet.
So you started this when you were 6 years old, yes?
Yes.
You started a YouTube channel when you were 6. Did you know what you were doing then? You knew how to work all the equipment?
My mum used to edit all this stuff, but I used to talk a lot in the...
I bet you did. So when did you first hear about climate change, about what was happening in the world?
So when I was 4 years old, that is my sister's age, I used to listen to lots of the documentaries made by Sir David Attenborough. I used to come back home from nursery, throw my bag somewhere, and go to the television and find one of his documentaries. He was my nature inspiration. But later on, I started to learn about animals. But later on then, after watching these animal documentaries, I found a documentary about this thing called climate change. Then I took some further research into it, and I then got scared about the issues because I wanted to save the animals, but if there's no world for the animals, how am I going to save them?
So you're going to save the world first, then save the animals?
Yeah, because when I save the world, I'm basically saving the world and everything in it.
Got it. Tell me about the YouTube channel then. What films are on there? I haven't seen it all yet.
So the YouTube channel is called Science with Joe, and I basically talk about science, mainly conservation, because I can't spread the word very much. It's not like I can tell every single person in the world about these issues. So I started my YouTube channel to communicate.
And what sort of films are you making? Is it you chatting away?
Yep.
And you've got bits of clips on there and other films and facts and information. You've got an iPad in front of you. What's on there? I was just looking over your shoulder. It's a PowerPoint you were telling me.
Yeah, so I made this presentation and I showed it at school, and it's called Climate Change. And my friends and two of my friends at school chose some pictures and helped me with a bit with the PowerPoint.
And what do your teachers make of all of this? What do they say to you?
They say it's very good, but I really don't think it is good, because it's not like this is going to save the planet.
You're very self-critical at 8 years old. I think it's amazing that you're doing this at 8.
It is a good thing. It's a step for educating other children, but it's not going to help the planet, so I need to do more things like this. And guess what? The children's reactions in my school...
What was the reaction?
They were scared, and I constantly had to stop and answer their questions because they don't have an idea about climate change. They can't get a picture in their mind about what climate change is like on Earth. That's when I wrote to my local MP, Mr. Robert Courts, about making climate change a compulsory subject in schools in the UK.
And what did he say? Did he reply?
Yes.
Did he? We don't even get a reply. You got a reply. We don't get a reply. So what did he say to you? What did Robert say to you?
So he said that they're going to do a draft in April 2022 and they're going to put the final bit in the curriculum next year.
Wow, you've got to keep your pressure on him, though. You've got to keep chasing him on that because
I know.
politicians forget things sometimes. So chase him up on that, won't you?
Yeah.
Who are your inspirations then? You mentioned Sir David Attenborough. Who else inspires you?
Greta Thunberg. So when you look at the people who are like climate activists like Greta Thunberg, she started this school strike for climate change when she was only like 15 years old. That shows the message that I'm trying to get out there in my YouTube channel. It doesn't matter who you are, where you can still make a big change for our planet.
Tell me, Joe, what do you want to do when you're 18, 10 years from now? If I met you 10 years from now, which, by the way, will go really, really quickly, what do you want to do?
Be a conservationist.
Do you? You want to work in this area?
Yeah.
And make a real difference. Where can we find your YouTube channel? How do we look it up?
So we go to YouTube and we look up Science with Joe.
Science with Joe. I'm going to watch some of these films with my kids later. We'll take a look at these later. Yeah. Listen, I'm going to make your dad blush here. I interview him. I get to meet an awful lot of people, professors and academics and scientists, some of the best brains at the University of Oxford. And you are far more articulate and informed than all of them put together, really. You're going to go a long way, Joe, a long way. And I look forward to following your career. 8 years old. He's 8 years old. Joe, thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
Good luck with all that you do. It's a pleasure to meet you, young man. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.